What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we're doing our best to be the bridge between our fellow investors and cryptocurrency to help people understand about cryptocurrency and the fact that we feel like it is the biggest opportunity over these next few years, and it's not even close. We're pumped to have you guys on today. Should be a fun show. We'll share the link in order for you guys to come and join us. So be brave, come and join us. We want to hear what you have to say. This will be fun today. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely. Corey Geary here, and on the absolutely beautiful island of Puerto Rico. It's, in my opinion, where Hexaco really is at, having an absolute blast. And we even had some Hexicans come over this morning and help me move into our new place. And man, it's just so awesome to be out here around like-minded people, to be on this journey with you guys where we're going to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and then use real estate as a wealth preservation tool, and just kind of marry these asset class in a beautiful harmonic way where I think, man, we can create some true legacy wealth, change you and your family's life, and just have a blast doing it. And we're having so much fun playing around in the RH ecosystem and these, pre or post launch, and kind of accumulation stage. I was looking at the charts today, and man, Pulse is just running this sideways formation for the last 2 weeks, and I really feel like we're in an accumulation, and we might have a spring down, maybe, and maybe not. We could go up from here. And it's funny because we're seeing, because the title of the show today is Hex is pumping, but at what cost? We saw, some serious sell pressure on Pulse X that got rotated into Hex, and some sell pressure in the Hex, or sell pressure from Pulse get rotated into P-Hex. And so it's funny because people are chasing green candles right now in P-Hex, and even the whales are doing it. And another thing to touch on is that P-Hex is now 2-1 on E-Hex. What about that noise? I don't know, man. That's going to cause some serious disdain in the ecosystem. I know there's some people like Furu and Johnny Chaos are at each other's throats over this whole P-Hex and E-Hex narrative. I don't care. I'm going to let the market make its mind up, and I've got positions in all of it. Now, any new money, all you guys know, all my new money is going to Pulse. That's where I'm putting my money. But, man, it's been quite the fun morning.
Oh, wild. I've been accumulating some P-Hex as well as Pulse. In fact, kind of like you said, with Pulse running in this range, I feel pretty comfy, dollar cost averaging in here. I've been holding some capital back to wait and see what the market would do, to see if we'd get a leg down, and we're just kind of holding here. And so I like this as a dollar cost average range with the idea we could go up, we could go down, but I feel pretty comfy accumulating right here. And I'm getting pretty close to hitting my goals, which is exciting. So
Good.
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It is cool. So you're not buying E-Hex?
No. No. I think it was Buck Fiat that coined the term reliable sellers. Yeah, over on eHex, you've got reliable sellers with the Godwell sending, it's like 800 million hex eHex over to those guys for their sacrifice. They've been selling, they stake some for 30 days, in my opinion, to they'll pull it and they use the interest and sell it off and just be extracting value over from there. We've been exit liquidity enough, and I'm doing my best not to be it, not to be it some more. So some people in the community apparently are really comfortable giving their money away to people like that, and so like God be with you.
I agree 100%, man. I mean, all my new money is going into Pulse, and even if I was allocating new money to Hex, which I love Hex. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Hex. It would be going to P-Hex. I mean, because we've discussed this. In my opinion, E-Hex, could it do great? Sure. That's fine. But it could only, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but I think it can only do as good as P-Hex can do. And your downside risk is exponentially more, right? It's so much greater to the downside than it is to the upside of what P-Hex can do. And so for me, man, I'm not going to emergency in-stake my E-Hex. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be trying to sell that off, and I feel like it could have a future, but it's just not going to be as great. My daughter's screaming. It's just not going to be as great as PHEX. So.
Sure. And especially once some of I think that EHEX gets a lot more interesting once you wash out some of these more reliable sellers. But until they're washed out in a meaningful way, like I'm not particularly interested in accumulating over there. So yeah, it's
Agreed.
interesting to consider. But Corey, tell us a little bit about our friend Juan here on the stream today.
Absolutely. Playing with the screen share, but we got Juan here. He came in from Florida. He's a Hexagon, and he's here in Puerto Rico with me right now. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
We can't hear you.
Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Still barely.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Audio.
I am messing up. There we go. No, barely. Still bad. Furu Finance, Bank X Hex. Bank X Hex. Feel free to hop on, Furu, with the links in the chat if you want to come on and say hi.
Hey, you guys, jump in. We can talk a little bit more. I'm sure we'll talk here about Puerto Rico with Juan coming out and visiting Corey in Puerto Rico. We'll talk about some of that stuff. So, yeah, come jump in the show. We can talk about Hex. We can talk about whatever you guys want.
Juan, you got your audio yet?
Let's see. Fixing this audio.
It's just very.
I could hear it. It's just light. Yeah, if you just talk kind of louder than you might normally, I think it'll be good enough.
Can you hear me now?
It's about the same. Do you have any headphones you could throw in by chance? That might work.
It might.
If you guys are unaware, today after this show will be fun. There's a Twitter Spaces. In fact, Corey, maybe you could drop the link in the chat for people to follow over there after the show. But in about 40 minutes, there's a Twitter Spaces where Buck, that has very conservative expectations of Pulsechain, will be debating B-Roots that has far more bullish outlook on Pulsechain. And I think it's healthy. I think it's really healthy to be able to gain perspective from people with varying opinions, to be able to extrapolate information for your own self, to help determine your own thought processes and what you think, and then you can choose how to act according to you making up your own mind. And so it'll be fun. We'll be over there in, like I said, about 40 minutes. So come join us in that Twitter space. That should be fun.
Yeah, I'll find the link for the chat. Here we go.
All right.
Well, let's see if
good now.
Oh yeah, way better.
Way better. Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. Super stoked. First time in Puerto Rico, and already met some really great people in the crypto space. Phenomenal stories, like from the beginning, and where they're at today. It's like super inspiring. Just kind of gives you that hope as we're in the bear market, seeing all these FUD stories and things about crypto that not so pleasant and FUD people out. I just get super excited because I know that this is the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I came to the conclusion more recently. I've been sitting on the sidelines with not a ton, but a decent chunk of capital that I kind of reallocated. Some of it in stables, a little bit in I was farming in the Bitcoin Pulse pool when the APRs were good there. It got to where it was like 40%. And so I went ahead and pulled my liquidity. So I've been sitting on that Bitcoin and waiting to see if I could get a better entry price on Pulse. And you guys have probably seen on Twitter the I think it's a great set of charts where it shows layer one blockchains and it says you are here, and it points to the very beginning. I guess over here it would be on this side. Points to the beginning. It's like you are here, and then you see, and then you see the charts rocket off. We just don't know when that rocket is going to take shape, and when it might occur. And we've been holding these levels pretty strong. We're still under a sacrifice rate of 3 zeros and a 1. And I came to the conclusion the other day. I was like, you know what? I think I'm just being too greedy. I should start dollar cost averaging this Bitcoin into other things that I believe in more strongly, like Pulse. And so I started doing more of that this morning. So that's been good.
Nice. What's up, Fubru?
What's going on, guys?
The EHEX Maxi.
You drinking anybody's tears this morning, bro?
Yeah. It's gonna be a big show. We're gonna be going into that.
Oh my God! What time's your show?
It's at 12. We're on 12 every day.
Oh, 12 EST.
EST.
Oh, it's right when the B Roots and the Buck Fiat debate's going on. I'll have to have both you guys on at the same time.
Oh, you're gonna have to make a decision.
I'll just multitask, man. There's been many times where I've had a YouTube channel and a Twitter space going on at the same time, just so I can get as much information as possible. Oh man.
Right.
What do you think would put that beef to rest, man?
Well, first of all, what's going on, Juan?
What's up?
Nice to meet you. What's gonna put? I don't know. Is it gonna have to be 3-1, 4-1, 5-1? I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna give up, but I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I'm ready to squash it. I was never even ready for it, but it just is what it is. And I keep on trying not to cover it, but like there's always another thing that happens, and it's
that
like
pokes at it. Yeah. Well, you've kind of like been the torch, kind of like a giver, because it got kind of started with like, I feel like Wendy's and Motley and Dixon Piper, and like these guys kind of like they stepped back and handed you the torch, and you kept going like forward with it, and like kind of.
It's like they it's like I'm like the Operation Human Shield,
a little bit, man. They're like, well, we're OGs, so we can step out of this, and you can go ahead and fight our battle for us.
Yeah, and I do it because I can handle it, so I'm not complaining. It's kind of fun, honestly. I mean, in the beginning it was a little bit, but now it's just kind of fun. It makes for good content, especially during the bear market when everyone's really starving for something to digest. So I think it's really fine, and it's really helped a lot of people. There are a lot of people that didn't ARB or didn't buy EHEX. So it's helping people, and I think in the long run it's really helping the ecosystem.
Yeah, agreed. Like I've always said, man, even since the fork, that any new dollars was going to go into the Pulsechain ecosystem. Why would I put any new dollars into the Ethereum side? Now, I'm not saying that for me the EHEX is going to die or anything. Like, it's just for me, my dollars are going to be better treated over in Pulsechain.
Yeah. And what I realized also is, this is interesting. Every time EHEX and they pump, the Hart's law, they all pump together. The percentage changes are different, but they move in synchronicity, right? So every time Hex pumps, let's say 5%, EHEX will pump like 4 or 3. So it's usually like a difference. Well, this last one was huge difference, but generally it's like 2-3% difference. It pumps 2-3% more, and it dumps 2-3% less. So people, or 1%, whatever. So people sort of like disregard it. It's only 1%. But what people don't realize, and this is something that I realize, is that it's compounding. So every time it pumps 1% more, the next time it's going to pump 1% more on the additional 1%. And then, so basically they're going to be close. And then after time passes, it's sort of going to hockey stick away because of the compound interest. And what's also going to accelerate it is the dump is more. So it's like the people, they outperform the S&P 500 by 2% a year. It's like, oh yeah, it's just 2%. But after like 20 years,
Compounded.
you know,
Yeah.
it really pulls away because it's outperforming 2% of so much more. So that's really what we're starting to see. And I think based on that, I mean, it's just mathematics. The ratios are really going to accelerate. And not only that, Ethereum gas fees haven't even ramped up yet. So I think, like we saw in the beginning, it was like they were together, like pretty much parity, and then it was a little bit more, and now it's a lot more. And I think it's just mathematics. It's going to continue to really pull away.
Yeah, we got our good friend Mr. Randy Hilarski in the comments, and Randy, feel free to hop on too, man. We would love to hear your input. I know you love EHEX, and I can kind of go with some of the sentiment that I would like still to have the RH exposure over on Ethereum, because there is a lot of big money on Ethereum, and it does give them easy access into the ecosystem, and that's why I do like it there. I just, it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out in the future. And I think that's what Randy's, comment there is that here's another one. They all assume that Pulsechain will be a huge success. This remains to be seen, and this is true too. But my counter argument of that, Randy, is that if Pulsechain fails,
it's over.
all the hexes will fail too. I really, it is all dependent now on Pulsechain, because it's all part of Richard Hart, right? And if Pulsechain doesn't make it, in my opinion, he does.
Still Quan. No one's investing in him.
It's a Do Kwon at that point.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of go with that. So I do see both sides of the coin, but any new money goes to Pulsechain.
Yeah, and I don't like it that people honestly are saying like the big money has access to Ethereum. Like, I don't want them going to Ethereum. I want them pumping Pulsechain. I want them to take that extra bridge. So I don't even think that's good. But regardless of that, I would want to say about Randy Hilarski. Randy Hilarski was in the mainstream crypto business, and he really had to take a huge hit when he came out in favor of Hex, and that was legendary. And he talks about he lost a lot of followers, and I'm sure he went through a lot of stress and uncertainty, and he really took a stand, and look where he is now. I mean, he's had incredible success with his Patreon and with his YouTube channel.
His life, and he's crypto retired down in Panama.
Yeah, he's crypto retired down in Panama, and I honestly, I don't know if I would be able to do that if I, were as old as him and already, I have a job and all those kinds of things. So like, it took tremendous courage, and I empathize with it, even though it's not to the level of what he did. I mean, I think what I'm doing is it dwarfs in comparison to what Randy did. But regardless of what Randy thinks about EHEX, I have tremendous respect for Randy.
Love it. Oh, who is it? That you? What's going on, Norbert? Can you?
Hey, hello guys.
There we go. How you doing, brother?
Can you hear me? Yeah, very well. Thank you. And you?
All good. We can hear you.
Nice one. So yeah, at the moment is EHEX the topic, yeah?
A little bit. We're just flirting with the idea. We're not.
We've talked about the two hexes quite a bit. Here's a topic that I want your guys' feedback on. So Richard comes out, he creates a couple of farm and pools of tokens that are paired with Pulse that are not tokens that he created, right? You had like the Pepe pool, for instance, and he's marketing the free copies. You had the Bitcoin copies did the same thing, and then he comes out and he retracts, he deletes the tweets, and he says, I've deleted the tweets where I'm talking about tokens that aren't ones that I created. And I don't plan on doing that moving forward, to talk about tokens that I haven't created. Back to what he's said in the past. Do you think that it is, if you're Richard, do you think that you ought to start talking about other tokens in order to promote Pulsechain, or do you think you should solely leave that up to the community?
Who wants to go first?
You.
Yep, go shoot at it, Trevor.
I'm asking you. Is just try to. I always look at these things that try to imagine yourself in the other person's shoes. Yeah, Richard is trying to attract more money, so in order to do that, you have to sacrifice. You have to give up a little bit of your own beliefs. If the market doesn't respond well to your first attempt, which was releasing Pulsechain and Pulsechain, and generating these normal funds, the ordinary funds. So on that sense, it must be really difficult for him. And imagine like all his advisors around him telling different things. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. Like I think Kennedy was saying before that, he had quite a few advisors, and he said that the situation what I'm dealing with is really difficult. I know that the outcome is gonna be shit. Doesn't matter which advisor I'm listening to. I just need to listen to the one which have less negative effect on the country itself. So yeah, we have to look at what is going on right now with that as well. But at the same time, a little bit just going back to the EHEX topic. What do you think, guys? I mean, you all know, guys, that whales move in the market. We need big money to come into the thing. So in my eyes, Hex is a really well-built product. It's running on a platform which is extremely reliable, a bit slow and outdated. Ethereum is a bit slow and outdated for sure, and a bit expensive. But if I have money, I don't care about that. I have to pay a few $100s to start a stake, and then a few $1,000s to end the stake. Because, okay, fine, everyone is saying this, that, Pulsechain needs because the transactions are pennies, and what about the people who only want to invest a few $100s? I'm sorry, but if you only have a few $100s to invest, you shouldn't even invest in the first place. You should put that money into yourself to make more money, and when you have, like, let's say 10 grand, then take 2-3 grand out of that and put that into something. And then it's up to you which platform you want to do it. But for me, Hex is a sophisticated product, and it should target sophisticated investors. I look at it just now, the BlackRock guy comes out and says publicly that he thinks that Bitcoin is the international gold, and everyone knows Bitcoin. So it doesn't matter which country you go. I'm sure someone would buy a Bitcoin for whatever price, but you would find someone to buy Bitcoin from you. And maybe if we reach that level when Hex could be well known everywhere, then in my eyes it can be like serving different range of people. The higher investors can go to EHEX, fairly straightforward. You just transfer your Ethereum from any centralized exchange. There you go, get your Hex, good to go, run your stake, that's it, you're done. If someone has less money to invest, then they can, put it into Pulsechain. But for me, it's like I said before, Richard and the other guys, imagine how many hours of hard work and tears and sweat they put into creating Hex what it is. So I don't think we should just, dump on it and say, oh, you know what, this one is better. You don't leave your mates behind in the war. I was in the army, I would never left any of my mates behind. We had to do like training, so you had to carry your mate, and stuff like that.
So Norbert,
yeah.
Can I ask you, if you're not a big money investor and all the big money is going into Ethereum and you're on Pulsechain, how's that going to do for you?
I don't understand your question, man. Or you didn't listen enough what I was saying.
No, what I'm saying
is of people.
What I'm saying is that if you're a small money investor and all the big money you invest in Pulsechain, in Hex on Pulsechain, and all the big money goes into the Ethereum, is that good for your investment?
No.
I don't understand. What's your angle on this question?
What I'm saying is that if the money is split, then the price performance.
No, it doesn't need to. No. It doesn't need to be split. It's attractive.
Like, because you're saying that the big money is going into Ethereum and the small money is going onto Pulsechain. So it's split.
Buddy, I'm not sure in your city, yeah, but in our city, you have Italian restaurant. I live in London. Yeah, we have Italian restaurants. You can go and get a cannelloni or whatever for 10 pounds, or you can have a cannelloni for 30 pounds. But obviously, the service and the environment is going to be different. I'm not saying that Pulsechain is less quality, but eHex has a history. It has, people behind. Is a well-known product, and even if it's like they can run simultaneously. Let the people decide what they want to put their money into.
Well, first of all, I love Italy. Okay, that's one.
Because if I go on YouTube, how many people I can see that they're making videos about eHex? A lot of people. But eHex,
the amount of money that comes in matters in terms of how well it does. So if the big money, which is the most significant money, goes into Hex and Ethereum, the small investors lose. So
that's what I just said.
So what I'm saying is, why should we even legitimize Hex on Ethereum to the big investors? We should delegitimize it, if anything.
Why would that be?
Because we would rather the big money bring their Hex onto Pulsechain, and that would increase Pulsechain's adoption. That would create a bigger price performance, which is the greatest form of marketing. And not only that, that will increase trading volume on PulseX, which will lead to more buy and burn for the PLSX token. And it will also.
But you're talking about two different products.
More people buying PLS to make and end their stakes. So it's good for PLS. So if you encourage the big money to go onto Ethereum, then what you're doing is you're making them go to Coinbase and buy ETH, which pumps Vitalik's bags, not ours. Then you make them transact on Uniswap, which pumps Hayden Adams' bags, not ours. And also, it just makes the whole thing, it obfuscates the whole situation and makes it very confusing for people. Yes, it's easier to onboard it's easier to stake on Ethereum in the sense that it's a step less. You don't have to cross the bridge. But we're not investing based on the current situation now. We're investing based on how we think things are going to be in 2 years. I think in 2 years, it'll be very easy to onboard onto Pulsechain. It'll be as easy as Ethereum. Meaning the best thing I could do for an investment now is to take that extra step so my returns will be that much higher in the future, right? And then I'll easily be able to cash out on OKX, not on OKX, on let's say Binance or KuCoin or Coinbase or one of those things once Pulsechain gets those listings. And it's like, furthermore, part of what could get us towards that those listings and adoption is people using the Pulsechain and not Ethereum. If Hex on Ethereum, has a lot of people using it, then it will take attention away from Pulsechain. It'll take away. It might get a Coinbase listing for eHex and not Pulsechain. So every way you look at it, it's just that much more advantageous to get behind Hex on Pulsechain. That's what I think.
Dane or Juan, you got any commentary to come in?
Yeah,
but Pulsechain has
so many. I think, and once again, I think
already.
And Hex isn't going to die on Ethereum. Like, Hex will be around, to Norbert's point. Like, it's not going anywhere. Nobody's going to take the contract and remove the product from Ethereum. Like, it's there to stay. The problem in my mind is that you have reliable sellers that are extracting value over there, that are not holding the price up. And Richard said it time and time again. What's the most important thing for a price chart? Well, the most important thing is for people to buy the tokens and to hold on to them and not sell them. And so, sure, are there sellers on Hex over on Pulsechain? Sure. But once again, we have a very significant amount sent from the Godwell wallet address over to the BankX guys that have shown themselves so far to be very reliable sellers. And I think for me, that's a really big determining factor. We're trying to use the current information that we have available to us today to inform our decisions today of how we build our bags. And so, I myself am not interested in being exit liquidity for reliable sellers. Now, I think there's something to be said to Norbert's point where, like brand recognition is a big deal. Like having Hex over on Ethereum and having Hex over on Pulsechain, like it's good for brand recognition, but it's very different when it comes to buy pressure and sell pressure where we would prefer it. Like Furu said, like it is far better for those of us that believe in Richard to come over to Pulsechain because they're going to have to buy Pulse to pay for gas fees. And they're going to use PulseX and they're going to buy and burn that. It's good for all of our bags if we can get the big money to come over there. And on top of that, you have less, at least currently you have less reliable sellers to make people exit liquidity. And so, so that's how I think that it makes a lot more sense to be bringing money over there. And Norbert nailed it too, right? Like in the end of the day, gas fees are just a narrative. If I have $1 million or more that I want to come and play in crypto, I don't care about, a few $100s or a few $1,000s in gas fees. That doesn't matter to me. But once again, it's just a narrative. Where do we want the buy pressure? Well, we want it over on Pulsechain. If I am McDonald's corporate headquarters, well, I don't care where my customers come, which McDonald's branch they come and they buy at. As long as they're buying Big Macs, then we benefit. But if I'm an operator and I own a McDonald's franchise, I don't want anybody else going to any other McDonald's and buying Big Macs anywhere else than my freaking McDonald's, because that's where I profit. And to me, I mean, the McDonald's I want them to come to is Pulsechain. I want them to come over to McDonald's and Pulsechain. I want them to buy there. I want them to transact there so that all of our bags can be pumped over there. And that's the majority of where I want to see the buy pressure, because selfishly, that's where I've built my bags. And
it's
so
fine. It's fine. It can. Your bags can pump on Pulsechain, but it doesn't mean that EHEX has to pay the price, because Pulsechain already offers so many products. You can farm, there are new protocols coming in. So Pulsechain is going to be fine. But I'm not sure if you've seen Somi's video. Everyone loves, most of the people love Somi. And he made it really clear. He made it really clear that, I'm not sure if you heard of it or knew about it. I don't know the details exactly, so don't judge me on this one. But let's say 10% of Pulsechain supply is in like 1% of the people. So it's like a big sell pressure as well. And even before, when Gadlia was having all these EHEX, there was still a possibility that he's gonna sell one day. What if he's gonna go mental one day? It's like, I'm out of here, or I need the money or whatever. Someone kidnapped me, I need to sell it. Or anything can happen. That was still a possibility when Gadlia was having all that EHEX. And okay, now the BankX guys has all this money. I'm sure it's gonna be sell pressure. But as Randy was saying before, there was 500 million or 500. Sorry, 500 million or billion. I don't remember exactly. Hex was on the was sold and it still recovered. So now we are like 50% or 55% more compared to the last one. But Hex still could do from that point, going up after that 500 million or billion, whatever was sold at that time in the old days. Yeah. So
well, it could, but once again, right now we have reliable sellers today. Today, you can point to the holders and say these.
But it happened before. It happened before.
800 million Hex that we feel like is very likely to be extracted from the ecosystem right now. Whereas we can go buy Hex over on Pulsechain, and you don't have at least that specific actor with that amount of power. and that's where, I'm once again, Norbert. I think we're like sitting in the same stadium, watching the same game, agreeing on almost everything, other than the fact of like which player is a little bit better. And right now, I'm saying that Michael Jordan. I'm saying he has a bum ankle, and I'm not betting on Mike right now. And you're saying, well, but he's got an ankle brace on; he's going to be fine. And like,
Hey,
so
wait,
that's,
whoa.
that's
What if the other player's ankle gets broken?
Right.
right.
I think there's a place. I think there's a place for both. In my opinion, I don't think EHEX is gonna go anywhere. We have millions upon millions of dollars staked for freaking 15 years. People are not just gonna. Not the majority are not gonna just end stake that. So it is an easier way to onboard. Whether you're a new investor, you are a millionaire, billionaire, it's the easiest way to get in there. Then they'll discover Pulsechain. I think that there's another factor that none of us really talk about, because I know that we all care as investors as price up, right? Price go up. Pulsechain gives also the ability for those that want to develop, right? It's faster, cheaper, and if we don't have development, if we don't have product, if we don't have innovation, or allow companies to do innovation in that, in a faster, cheaper manner, well, they're not going to innovate. Sometimes it's way too expensive. We got really smart people that, they don't get VC funding and they have great ideas and products that they want to put out, but doing it on Ethereum is not scalable. It's not doable. You build it on Pulse, right? It's much cheaper. It's much faster. That causes adoption. That means price goes up. I mean,
I agree with everything you said, but the same is applicable to Hex. So
on eHex,
yeah, I'm saying like a lot of people just can't use it. A lot of people can't participate. So it's
on eHex, right?
Yeah. So it's
I agree.
Pulsechain's better.
I agree. I'm in the ecosystem because I do believe that Pulse is better. It's better for the community. It's better for the ecosystem. It's better for development. It's better for price go up. It's better for the little people that don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to go ahead and pour into cryptocurrency, and they want to see their day right when they can do a 10,000x. So Corey and I were just doing some like moon math numbers prior to the show, where it's like, man, you took the stimulus money that everybody got, $1,200, you put it in the right protocol, dude. I mean, we saw like Phantom, for example. It's like $1.9 million with a couple $100. Where a couple $100, you lose a couple $100 buying stuff on ETH.
Yeah.
So you don't have, and I understand, like there's different types of investors, right? There's people that are multimillionaires and they don't give a shit about a couple $100, a couple $1,000 in fees because they have a completely different game. But crypto was meant for the masses. It's meant to free, obviously even people that are unbanked, they don't have access to funds like that. They want to do investments. They can't buy a property, right? They don't have enough capital to buy property. Maybe their credit is shot, but they got a couple $100, and it's it's like almost like $1 in a dream type of thing. But you got to give them the opportunity and bring them in, right? And those people will pump the bag much more than the whale. I would assume so, right? Because if I made a 10,000x and I only put in a couple $100, how many of those people am I going to tell that this exists? I'm going to tell the masses. I'm going to tell everybody, and everybody was going to want to jump in. Why do you think Pepe did what Pepe does? You know what I mean? Like you bought that shit at nothing, and it went up that crazy, and it's that. It wasn't the whales that made Pepe go.
True, but it's the whales who move markets.
Of course,
you have to have the whale. They're the ones that truly let's use an example. Pulse Bitcoin had a shit ton of small guys in there pumping the bags and buying, and it was doing amazing.
Right.
It took one whale to capitulate to absolutely destroy that protocol. It destroyed it.
I agree.
In my opinion. And so you see by one actor what one actor could do. Godwell could do that to any of the hexes. He could do what happened in Pulse Bitcoin. He could do it to anything. Now he doesn't. He's been shown to be a kind of a benevolent actor, but it shows you that we have to have the whales, and what they do really does matter. It matters massively what they do in our ecosystem, and so.
I think
I do agree with you. You need all the little guys. You need all the little shrimp. You need all the little squids. You need all the whatever. You need them. You do. But it takes thousands of shrimp, if not hundreds of thousands, to make up one whale. And that's the
they're coming, man. I think they're coming. You know, it's one of those things where someone that's a whale wants to play in a short thing. Right, like Ethereum, it works. It's functioning. You can transact today. It's working, right? Versus, hey, let me go ahead and put millions of dollars into something that I don't know if it's even going to work, if it's even going to last even this bull cycle. Let me wait it out. Once I have a little bit more, I guess, stability or understanding, right? Then I can jump in there as a whale and do whatever I want to do. I want to develop. I want to pump my bags, whatever it is. But on a proven platform versus.
Well, let's talk about everything we said before. Now, on top of that, the God Whale was responsible single-handedly for bringing Hex to where it is. Right. If not for the God Whale, there would be no 10,000x. It might have done well. It would not have done a 10,000x. He tripled the price or something overnight or something. Avid Hex talked about that. That person. The God Whale said at the very least, he prefers Hex over eHex. So the person maybe he doesn't even like eHex anymore. I don't know, but he definitely likes Hex more. So what does that tell you? On top of the BankX sell pressure, on top of the fact that it's not pumping the rest of the coins as much, it's rewarding Ethereum, which has had extremely bad behavior. It is giving candy to the kid when he should be grounded. All those kinds of things. On top of that, the one player that brought Hex to the legitimacy and to the sort of success that it has had decided that he likes Hex more. So why in the world would anybody send anybody to Hex on Ethereum? It makes zero sense.
I'm sure Stefan can answer that question.
But maybe this, but maybe that, but maybe this. It's all maybe Pulsechain crashes and goes to zero. It's maybe Ethereum fixes the gas fees. It's maybe Godwell changes his mind, I guess. Maybe the OA forces parity. It's all possibilities at the expense of, real, concrete, tangible things that we see in front of us right now. It makes zero sense to legitimize it. It makes zero sense. And I can't say this enough. I think a lot of people are very emotionally involved in this. And you do see a pattern where it's the people that got in early that have thousands of T-shares that are very emotionally involved and they don't want to give it up. And hey, maybe if I were in that situation, I wouldn't be able to do that. But if you step back and you see the big picture and you understand the reality of the situation, it makes zero sense from an objective perspective to legitimize Hex on Ethereum. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like these people think they're being clever or they're being smart, where they sort of obfuscate to make it seem like they're equivalent and it's an unknown. But in reality, they're hurting the new onboards. How is a new onboard going to feel when their eHex stake matures? It appreciated far less, and they're paying a exorbitant amount of money and gas to unstake it. That's a fact. That's going to happen. It's not going to appreciate as much, and it will cost a shit ton to unstake. How's that going to work for the network effect? It's not going to work. It's going to split buy pressure. People don't want to get into coins that pump less. It makes zero sense to prop it up. So you think, not you, but these OGs, and not all of them, but some of them think that they could sort of have their cake and eat it too. But in the end of the day, they are splitting yeah, you get a little bit of exit liquidity, you get a better rate on your stakes that mature, but you destroyed the ecosystem or you didn't allow it to reach its full potential. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, I don't have to tell people that, oh, you're just lying because you want exit liquidity. Like, I don't have to say that. I have to say that if you look at the facts, legitimizing EHEX is not good for the ecosystem. It's not good for anything. That's all I have to say. I don't have to, speculate on people's. It's fine. I don't care. There's no way of getting inside people's heads. People like to say, "Oh yeah, you just saying that because you swing trade and you're trying to pump your back." It's like that's not true. But it doesn't matter. Just look at the situation. Ethereum will get more expensive. The single greatest issue in crypto right now is the scalability of Ethereum. That's it. The single greatest solution to the scalability of Ethereum is Pulsechain.
I love that.
The people will leave Ethereum for Pulsechain. They are already onboarded. So yes, now Ethereum has some legitimacy, but we're not trying to cash out now. We're investing now for how things are going to be in 2 years. And part of that system playing out, part of that prophecy playing out of Pulsechain becoming the most successful blockchain, L1, in all of crypto, and Hex becoming probably the best price performing crypto in the history of crypto, means that we as a community have to stop giving legitimacy to Ethereum. It's not good. It's not healthy in any way. It's like you think it's like if you own a store and you think you're clever because you sold your spoiled milk to a customer. Guess what? You lost the recurring payment. You could have had him come back every single week and buy milk, but now he's never going to come back. So yeah, you got a little exit. You propped up the value of your Ethereum, but now nobody's buying anymore. Now the ecosystem has a reputation of sliminess, sleaziness, no integrity, and just people trying to lead people astray. We don't want this. We want this ecosystem to have the most integrity. We want the people that are in now to be looking out for the new onboards. And legitimizing EHEX is completely counterproductive to that goal. And we don't want to be that ecosystem. And that's what I'm saying. And it's starting to resonate. People are starting to see the ratios widen due to compounding math. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing. And I think a lot of the new people are starting to see, look, there are people that are looking out for us. And that's really going to make for a massive success this bull market. And honestly,
if you want to weigh in, Money Gang, we're going to wrap the show up relatively quickly here for the debate. So feel free to weigh in here.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Money Gang Crypto.
I'm
What
good.
up?
I'm good. I was just I was watching the show and I thought I'd jump on and come say hello and that.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
want the
blessed.
smoke. I don't want the beef. So I'm not gonna give my thoughts and opinions. I know I'll piss off a lot of people and stuff. I to be honest, like the key sentiment or the key thing that needed to happen from day one of Pulsechain was this whole idea that Chaos was talking about, that the OA is benevolent and he's going to come in, he's going to bring parity to the two, and we've not seen that, right? We're like 60 days or coming up to the 60-day mark of the chain being launched, and that's not happened. And then on top of that, we've seen that there has been the Godwell doing the actions that they've done, and now you've basically given it hostage, right, to a guy that does not give a damn about the ecosystem on the Ethereum side. So it's like, I struggle to say to my audience, I struggle to say to the guys, like, go buy EHEX, because there's literally a person that's ready to sell and has not been negotiating with individuals who want to buy that off him. Like, there's been multiple attempts, multiple offers, and fair offers as well. I got told very, very fair offers.
Yeah.
And the person doesn't give a damn.
Yep.
He's like, it wants every single penny that they can get at market rate, regardless of the fact that you wouldn't be able to sell that much with slippage and all of that fun stuff, and he doesn't care. So it's a gun to the head of EHEX, and so I'm not comfortable saying to people, well, go out and buy EHEX, because I just think if anyone puts a decent position in, their exit liquidity.
Cool guys, well it's been fun today. Let's go ahead and wrap up so we could jump in. So if you guys want go and check out Furu Finance. He's gonna be on here right now, it sounds like. And
yeah, if
and
you guys
if you
want any of you guys want to join, just DM me. I don't know if you guys want to get caught in the crossfire, but if you guys are down,
man, Furu wants all the smoke, man. Crypto7, come here. You want some?
It's Crossfire Friday, bro. Crossfire Friday.
I'm going live in like 2 minutes, so.
So go jump over there, support Furu if you like what he's about. I think there's a lot of legitimacy to what he shared here. We appreciate everybody jumping in and sharing their opinions. Twitter space, if you want to go and see Buck debate B Roots on Pulsechain Upside, we'll be starting here momentarily. It'll lots of interesting things to go tune in. So go check out those things, guys. And with that, appreciate you jumping in, and we'll see you next. Oh, Corey, go ahead.
I was just to say, Money Gang, feel free to show your stuff too, guys. Follow Money Gang. He puts a lot of great content out there. We love Money Gang also. Both of these guys are great content creators, and they're out there pumping all of our bags every single day. So give them a follow and give us a like and give us the bell notification. We love the old bell notification, and we're going to continue help pumping all of our bags and help bringing the best content that we possibly can. Even if we get on here and we disagree on this, that, and the other, it does not matter. We're all playing the same game. We're all in this to win it. And in the long run, man, the market decides.
That's right. This is healthy. This is healthy. Appreciate you guys letting me on.
So
see you guys.
Peace.
Thank you guys. All the best.
And